Alright folks, howdy. We are just having Vito's wrap up for the other series, so that should be getting underway here soon. Again, it's going to be the winners match featuring uThermal versus Socke in a TvP. I don't know, things seem to have stalled out though. They did like 2 vetoes and then full stop. So I don't
And
know.
they were like, fuck it.
Like, it's like can't be bothered to press the last couple buttons. But yeah, talking with Zombie up during the break, she put some BlizzCon related stuff, and I kind of forgot, like, man, there's so much that goes on during BlizzCon outside of the actual BlizzCon itself, right? Like, there's going to be a lot of parties, there's going to be a lot of, I want to do meet and greets and talk to people.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. I want to, though, so badly try and pull over, like, so we don't conventionally do interviews on the channel. I'm not trying to do that, but I want to get a couple of the Blizzard folk together, like, for example, Greg Black from the co-op section of things, and just have some, like, fun 3-minute chats with them and make some video content out of that. Fingers are crossed. Can make that happen. But what's weird about that, though, is in consideration of that is, man, I normally just spend so much time nerding out over everything. If I'm actually going to try doing some proper work like that, it's like, will I have enough time? Is like a serious question. And I'm not even talking about like during the convention itself, but even outside of it, right? Like convention closes at like what 6 or 8 or whatever, and everyone goes back to their hotels, does dinner, meets up for the parties. Like, am I gonna have time in there? Do I have to cut away from party time? Like, do I gotta wake up super early? I'm actually not necessarily stressed, but stressing over it.
Oh. Yeah, there's a lot to fit in. Like, I guess technically 3 days, because like most people get there Thursday night, but especially the 2 days of the actual BlizzCon. I was gonna say something. Oh, I am getting worried because they gave us the media badges, but they still haven't given us the early access code.
Oh, for the store? Yeah, I guess we could poke about that today. Oh, that reminds me of the way. I'm sorry that it took so long for this. Our random versus random finals and that the whole awesome fundraiser thing we did for that. I hadn't contacted the people on Twitch yet because honestly, my schedule has just been fucked on my end outside of this. And I will be hopefully trying to contact the people today as I pay out pricing for a couple of things that we've been missing prize pools for. So, if you did contribute and you're the top 7 donators to the random only finals, today should be the day. I've got all the names listed out. I've got all the codes in a document. Like, I just need to get to doing it.
Heyo.
Should be a very nice weight off my chest. Because I always hate about, like, okay, I feel guilty when we're like a week late with payments, 2 weeks late with payments, and I know there's still people out there who haven't been paid for like 2 years from companies. And I don't ever want to turn into that. So I always get so worried like this will be like not just lazy but a slippery slope.
It's 1 week and then it's 1 year before you know it.
Yeah, it's kind of BaseTradeTV in a nutshell, really. Started working really hard on this for 1 week. Couple months go by. Suddenly we're like 3 years later. Boom, here we is.
I guess, yeah. I mean, it's actually been so long since starting casting, but also in BaseTradeTV, and it's like, I forgot that I was like graduating. It was my senior year, and I started casting BaseTradeTV and on, I want to say WCS too. No, I might have been graduated by then. I can't remember. But yeah, I used to be in college, man. So long ago.
Yeah, now you're old and blonde and your hair's going white. Thank you to Alieris. She doesn't say that.
Alarise.
Dude, Annie, I'm so excited to finally fucking meet you at BlizzCon. You better, I swear to God, if you ditch or avoid me, I'm gonna be so pissed. Thank you for the 3-month resubs. This relationship is starting to get serious now. ...
I've already met you. I'm fine.
You fucking cool. What are you drinking? What is that? You got a spider on the can?
Oh, it's gross.
Is it like
These
Halloween
things are always
themes?
like $1 each. They're like 5 for 5. So I always test one to see if like they're amazing. There's like 4 of them now, and I think I've only ever liked one of them.
This is like when I see like Rockstar Energy and stuff. I'm like, huh, that can of Monster costs $2.79, but I get like 4 Rockstars for the same price.
Yeah.
And then when you drink it, you're like, yeah, now I see why.
Yeah, right, exactly. I had a Monster at Montreal that was actually super delicious.
Was it the white can?
It was like a fruit punch or something. I don't think so.
No, the white can smell like orange juice, I think, if anything.
Okay, no, it wasn't that one. But there was something else, and I really liked it, and I wanted another one, but I was also like getting serious jitters from it. I was like, okay, I don't feel so good, guys. Like I don't know, man. I keep feeling weird. Like I was not good after it, but I really wanted another one.
Well,
So
that's an interesting way
delicious.
to go about it. I've got a love hate relationship with energy drinks because for those who don't know, conventionally when we wake up at say like 3 a.m. for like an Elite League cast, I'll be drinking a Red Bull or something during it to stay awake and wake up for it. Then as soon as it's done, I'll fall asleep. But I've still got like that caffeine or the energy drink or whatever running through my system, and trying to be super exhausted with this kick going can actually sometimes be physically painful. Like I'll find myself like jolting like myself back awake because it feels like I got punched in the arm or something. It's actually scary stuff. I'm very much trying to cut out energy drinks out of my system now
Oh
that this
yeah,
is happening a little bit more regularly.
that doesn't sound too good, man.
Dares, the answer to that is a maybe. I really want to go just 90% because it's Angie's, but Angie's also totally bailed last year, so I don't want to like set myself up for fail by over dedicating. Um, but if that actually happens, I'm super there without a doubt.
Um,
So there's a shitpost on Reddit, or what I thought was a shitpost when I went to bed. I saw this thing. It was like, fucking Blizzard, no Korean stream, right? And I just
oh
rolled my
yeah.
eyes at it thinking, like, what's this going to be? Wake up now, look at this. It's like on the front part of Starcraft Reddit, and it's got quite a bit of commentary / voting on it, too. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Um, honestly, feel kind of bad 'cause I didn't even realize it. I literally went to the thread and was like,
There's
wow, that's a lot of foreign
500
casters.
streams.
Exactly. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. So I maybe just assumed that the Korean one was in there and was surprised to learn that it wasn't, or just I honestly don't even remember what they did last year or the year before that.
This is where they need to get the Twitch and Lima League casters going with their
Well,
studio and all that.
legitimately, I would say that that is something that they should be and probably should be upset about too, but should be trying to get to because I mean, it's no secret that Twitch Korea is trying to grow itself because Afrika is the most popular service. Did I break StarCraft? I might have broken StarCraft.
Oh boy. Well, I can still cast if necessary. I was gonna say actually on that point, the Elite League has actually shown kind of cool growth, right? Like if you remember when Twitch Korea started broadcasting for the Elite League, they had like less than 300 viewers. Now they're getting closer to like 1,000 each week.
Yeah, it is certainly growing, but it's going to be a difficult journey. But the BlizzCon could have been huge, I suppose, to get that coverage. What I really am disappointed though, or how do I phrase this? I'm glad someone made note of it because I think
I would have never noticed.
if a foreigner had noticed, like some like Joe Schmo on Reddit was like, "Why isn't there a Korean stream?" I like watching Korean streams. Everyone's response would be, "Well, Koreans don't watch StarCraft anyways." Which, okay, it's not as big, but they do, and they actually not only like they want to watch it, but now they can't watch the biggest event in their own language. That does kind of suck, and it just kind of further makes the Korean scene feel like they don't matter and that they're screwed.
I almost feel like, for those who don't know, I am very anti-Kespa. All right, if you don't agree with me, then please close your ear holes for a second. But I almost feel like Kespa's done so many things to just like push themselves away and really just make the relationship with Blizzard difficult. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this was not actually because of Blizzard, but entirely because of Kespa. Like, I really doubt Blizzard went out of its way to be like I know, oh, but the region looks different. Shut the fuck up and think with your head for a second. And I'm pretty sure Blizzard didn't go out of its way to be like, you know what? We don't need a stream for like the staple of our esport. Let's very explicitly exclude them.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It might be true though.
Alright, well, we are going to get into the game. We'll talk more on that later if you guys are really interested. Spawning the top left side is getting a bit of probe harassed. It's going to be the blue Terran player, uThermal, here for the winner's match of the Dutch StarCraft League.
In the bottom right, as the Teo Protoss, he is Socke.
And a big thank you to Fussed Up. Might not be first up to the bat with his new sub shit, but he is a new sub. Nonetheless, thank you so much, man. I am so scared of our current sub count, by the way. It's still not the highest sub count we've ever had. I think because we topped out like 1,300 after all the Elite League stuff, plus the following month. We're currently at, I'm waiting for it to load, 1,144. That's amazing. The scary thing, though, is the Twitch Prime subs make up a large portion of that, and they do not auto-renew. So while I feel fantastic on Cloud 9 now, just like my weird energy drink crash, I feel like next month the sub crash is going to hurt bad.
I thought that's where you were going to go with that. It might happen, but Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think it'll definitely have less. I don't think we're going to continue growing with Twitch Prime. I'm going to be honest, but I also don't think all of them are going to leave. Hopefully not. Well, haven't talked much about the actual like matchup, I suppose. Socke versus uThermal. I think with uThermal's just like name presence, right? You would give it to him to win this, maybe even 2-0. But the matchup really does screw him over, I think. There are some Terrans that just like they're like not the best at it, but they don't really necessarily mind it, or they're not really like losing to you know the worst Protoss in the world. Not saying that Socke is, but you know what I mean. But then there's like Terrans that just like legitimately do hate it. I'm not sure where uThermal like sits, but the last time we saw him versus Protoss was against Tails, I think. And to be fair, Tails is a good day that day.
Yeah,
but
that was the
uThermal was the first beats, and we were like, oh, Tails, I guess you can get to the finals.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say that was also the same cup I believe Tails won. I remember just kind of being astonished. I'm like, oh, this guy, I have to get his PayPal for prize money. I've never had to do this before.
Exactly, yeah. So again, that could have been just Tails finally coming into his own on these online tournaments because he's been playing in so many. It might have been a bad day for uThermal, or it might have legitimately been that the matchup, you know, just got into uThermal's head because there was some Protoss shenanigans that happened in that series.
Speaking of shenanigans, the odds are full of shenanigans today. It's 15,000 for uThermal, 1,200 for Socke currently. Bets aren't closed at the time of me reading this. They probably will be at the time of you guys hearing this, but that's like if Socke wins this, that's crazy upset money is what that is.
Yeah, I think it's about uThermal's name, kind of like his branding, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, uThermal's stock went through the roof as soon as he joined Team Liquid. Like,
well, that's true. Yeah. But seriously, Socke's just been improving every single time. Don't really have a good grasp on his PVT, so I have no idea if he's been improving in that. But we've seen his, I think personally, I've seen his PVZ improve. It went from like always, gonna be honest, I hope he doesn't watch this VOD, like terrible fights with Zerg to he still messes up every now and then, but it's still okay. Yeah, let's get rid of that, shall we? There we go.
I almost wish that was like mind games, so like uThermal stops paying attention and forgets to cancel.
Yeah, of course. But I haven't seen his versus Terran, so I'm not sure if he's he's improving on that still, or he's actually always been very good at this match, and we just coincidentally haven't seen him play it. So far, it seems pretty typical. There's not too much going on to say otherwise.
There's nothing inside this bunker. He lifted everything to go across the map, so that bunker is going to eventually break. The Oracle's coming to start roasting up some SCVs. uThermal down 20 workers, but back at home, Socke only has overcharges to rely upon, and Stim can actually focus these down pretty quick.
Oh, he's gonna focus. He's gonna mic with the Marines too, because I think he's realized this is kind of base trade territory.
Yeah, it's like a lost cause at home.
Oh, it almost was. Luckily, the messenger was at the natural, it just wasn't in the main base. You know, so he's gonna try and even up the workers killed.
Socke does push that back. Now it's 20 SCVs to 35 probes, and there's what 3 oracles. I wouldn't quite call this Haas style just yet, but the overcharges, the adepts, and I gotta say, Socke seems really fantastic here. That's where you guys start maybe sweating about those bets you made here and those odds, am I right?
That could have gone a lot worse, though. uThermal being able to stabilize on a natural saturation is better than I thought was going to happen. I thought he was going to lose like half his workers with natural as well. Because I think down 14 workers on even bases is okay for the Terran to make a comeback with like a good drop or a good push.
Yeah, and uThermal is quite aggressive when it comes to playing the games. That's something that needs to be considered. But Socke, for the meantime, is going to get some room to breathe. I like the Phoenix idea to try and police those medevacs. Fussed Up, who just subbed, says, by the way, my first subscription ever, and now you go and save esports for me. With a smiley face. Dr. Scotty255 just subbed as well with Twitch Prime, but this is his 8-month resub, and he says, love always having some Starcraft to watch. Keep it up. And then lastly, someone, oh, I just had this in chat. Where did it go? Basically, someone said that, wait, Twitch Prime doesn't auto-magically renew, and no, unfortunately not. What's cool is, like, you will constantly get, like, 1 free subscription a month you can apply to any streamer that you want until they change that policy, but it will not auto-renew. So if you're currently subscribed to us with Twitch Prime, next month you'll have to manually reapply it, or else your sub thing will break.
Yeah. Well, it's the type of push I was imagining uThermal to do to bring this game back, and that was a lot of light units that Tank Splash could have killed. Thankfully, the Phoenix come in before they get a couple more shots in those sentries. That was pretty important.
I like that the medevac there tried to swoop in and pick up the tank to save it, just barely couldn't collect that in time. uThermal falls back, and now Socke's got a weapon upgrade lead and an army supply lead. And, well, a base lead.
Yeah, and you just kind of reset the tank count, too. Because if you get away with the tanks and you come back again with, like, 6 tanks, then it's, you know, it gets more complicated.
Bets are finally locked in, by the way. We're at 30,000 for uThermal, 6,700-ish for Socke. Oh, sorry, it's 100. I couldn't read that properly. Either way, it's 6K to 30K. I'm telling you, a lot of you guys are quaking in your boots about those bets right now.
Yeah. Yeah, Socke is not only... You know, he didn't really get that lead early on, but so far he hasn't thrown it, which is a serious concern. You know, the sentries are bulked up with the adepts. 2 more tank shots probably could have obliterated quite a bit of it.
Yeah, surprise Mine comes out of nowhere, like...
Yeah, or that happens. But the Phoenixes were a great addition to help crowd control the tanks, but also make sure that uThermal's signature, like, drop harassment maybe didn't go unchecked. And now he's on a 3rd base, and he's going to continue checking to see if uThermal is. And if he... I mean, if you only saw the 3rd CC was only halfway done, Zach would feel great. I think he is already feeling pretty great. He's setting up additional pylons to help the defense in the main ramp area. Yeah, that one. And, okay, he just lost his Oracle. That sucks. I think he's lost all of his Oracles now, which is unfortunate, because 3 Oracles, you would think one of them would have survived and been, you know, casting Revelation. So that's why he's building another one.
Yeah, I mean, this is... Revelation is such a key component of keeping an eye on your opponent. Observers just don't cut it. They get scanned and picked off, and you name it. We got Frank, by the way, the coordinator of the Dutch Starcraft League, reminding us in chat that uThermal is last season's reigning champion.
Oh, yeah, people are throwing out a ton of reasons to why uThermal has the most votes. You know, a lot of Dutch fans, he was the reigning champion. Just he was a good player in general, but then, of course, there's the people also mentioning that apparently he legitimately said that TvP was the worst matchup, so... Yeah,
and I mean, that's kind of sad through, I think, just the way he plays against it, but... you know, I've never really had that actual nationalism for a player. Like, it's fun for me, we're like, oh, we're casting Scarlet or Moss, and I'm Canadian, they're Canadian, hey! But at the end of the day, that's more fun than, like, real for me. And I do wonder for a lot of the StarCraft fans, I know actually, excuse me, I should say not wonder, but I know for a lot of StarCraft fans, the nationality thing is actually a pretty big deal. I think best evidenced by any Polish person watching Polish players.
I do wonder how that works, though, because it's kind of funny. Like, in the real world, quote-unquote, it's the Americans that are, like, the most obnoxious about
the most, like, passionate about, like, football teams and everything.
So, when it's actually in StarCraft 2, it's, I don't know if it's because, like, the scene is stronger, base stronger, you know, they have all these lands, and all their players end up being really good, or I don't know, but even Neve, I don't necessarily... Well, I guess I'm not the best example, because I actually cheer for Koreans more than I cheer for anyone else, but anyway. Big fight going down. The Adepts are on top of the Marines. The tanks have to fire in so many different directions, not necessarily doing the best work, but they're not being crowd controlled either.
This doesn't go well for Socke, though, because it's important units that need to connect to the tanks are busy dicking around with Marines on the high ground instead of shooting the tanks. Liberator's got nothing left to shoot them. Well, this game started off strong for Socke. uThermal's just made some very important magic happen with this attack.
He had so many tanks that even though they were shooting in different directions, they all lived and were getting consistent shots, and the Liberators were going down either. Those Phoenixes, I'm not sure what they were shooting at, I guess the medevacs. But they definitely had a bigger role to play, and they have not lived up to it. Now he's trying to be fancy with the War Prism on the Immortal and the tanks, but uThermal might have just brought this game back.
I think he crushed it. I think he nailed it, dude. Like, this attack is so nasty. There's another big warp coming in, actually, so this might not be quite the end push, but the Mothership core goes down. So many things are just piling up against Socke here.
Yeah. The Adepts taking out the Marines can sometimes happen so quickly that really anything left over, whether it's 5 tanks or, you know, 50 Liberators, you know, whatever, something dramatic like that, sometimes doesn't matter. Like, you eventually get around to cleaning up these siege units. But the Marines did not die as quickly as I think Socke was hoping for with his Adepts and their upgrades. Actually, they would even upgrade, so maybe he thought they were going to be better with that. But this looks like it's game over. Socke can't get enough here. uThermal bringing it back. I mean, Frozen Temple was a pretty good map to bring it back with the tank push.
And yeah. Just that. Well, tanks aside, I think the Liberators played perhaps the smallest but most important impact in that fight. They just got to sit there shelling away more than the tanks even did. Well, they don't have a ton of kills ranked up. That's where a lot of the Marines came with, the finishing blows. Third base going down is pretty nasty. Void Ray is a bit of a stretch. It certainly would have dealt with the Liberators earlier on, but it might be too late now.
Oh yeah, it's too late.
Focused immediately.
Oof.
Alright, Socke down to almost zero army supply. That's going to be game, and map number 1 going to go to uThermal.
Well, people's bets were properly placed, apparently.
Yeah, for the time being. Of course, the bets really have no bearing on anything. For those who don't know, maybe you're watching the VOD of this, you're like, I can't believe people, like, they discuss open bets and money and dollar bills, and the answer to all that is just not. It's for fun stuff on the channel. It's imaginary currency partoofs. If you guys don't know how that works, if you're new to the channel, just by being here, you're earning partoofs by watching the stream. You get one every 5 minutes, twice as much if you're a sub, and we used to use it a lot more for giveaways. We used to have a lot more giveaways. Feels bad, man. Feels old, man. But for the most part, it's just used for some funsies betting. Thank you to another new sub, by the way, G Fawcett 22. And
thank you, Kikai. Actually, you do that one.
Nope, you're gonna sink that one. By all means, go ahead.
Huh. Kikai. That wasn't so hard, actually.
Kikai.
There's more eyes in there. There's more eyes in there.
That sounds
Thank
like
you for the 7-month resub.
That sounds like one of those warning calls. You're like, all right, you make bird noises if you hear the cops coming, right? Kikai.
Please don't.
Please don't do that
That was
again.
like Galaxy Quest. It's like, I'll make a sound, you know? Like, caw! Use this, idiot.
Fucking Galaxy Quest, dude. I actually, rarely do I meet people who've seen Galaxy Quest. Because I guess at this point, the younger generation, older movie, plus it wasn't really that amazing of a movie, so you don't get, it's not the classic that you need to check out type thing. But I met somebody who had actually never heard of Galaxy Quest. I showed her like the clip on the phone of the stupid "We need your help" like that scene, and she just looks at me like, "You're fucking retarded. What's wrong with you?" Like, did not find it funny at all. I felt super embarrassed about it. I'm like, come on, man, it's Galaxy Quest. Like, come on.
That is the worst when you're gonna show someone something really funny and they're like.
You're super enthusiastic about it, and it's not that they're polite and like, I didn't enjoy that, but thank you for showing me. They're like, fuck you, wasted 3 minutes of my time.
I think the parts that I remember and love the most in Galaxy Quests are the miners. Okay, that whole entire scene where it's like miners, not miners.
Yeah. And
when she's like, oh, they're gonna help the little guy eat him. I love that whole thing. And then when she starts complaining about the writers when they had to go through the chompers, she did a great job.
I'm sad again because we're talking about Galaxy Quest, which of course involves Sigourney Weaver, who was of course the voice of the aquarium, and Finding Dory. And
oh, I thought you were sad because Alan Rickman died and he was in Galaxy Quest. That went an entirely different direction.
No.
Did I make you more sad?
I didn't really care about Snape, I'm gonna be honest here. Never
about
watched
Snape?
a lot of the part.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, Alan Rickman.
Wow. He did so many of the great movies. You're gonna get so flamed.
That was just a mistake. That wasn't trying to be rude. Whatever. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. Hey guys, we're in game number 2 for the Dutch Starcraft League winners bracket, winners match. Winner of this moves on directly to that round of 8. Spotting the top left side of the map, it's gonna be the blue Terran player uThermal.
In the top right, as the teal Protoss, is Socke. And, most of the time on these shirts that have like the partial button up.
Wait, does this require me to see what you're talking about? I don't have your camera up right now.
Not exactly. I mean, I guess you can imagine it, right? Like imagine, because it's like a partial button up. It starts from halfway in the shirt.
Okay.
And some of them are unbuttoned. I have to say, like 9 out of 10 times, the buttons are fake. Or the buttons are real, but there's no actual hole to put them in. So you can't
it's for looks.
further button it up. Yeah, it's for looks.
Women's clothing is so impractical. I mean,
it really is. I'm surprised to learn this one actually does have holes to button up further. Anyway.
It's so weird. I don't know what is that shirt today has been like the hottest topic of debate. For my brain at least, if nothing else, because what we saw earlier in chat with the whole red versus blue dynamic. Like, I guess on one hand, congratulations, you got a really sweet shirt, bro. On the other, like, God damn it, your shirt's too sweet, bro.
Thank you to Shad Ghost for the Twitch Prime sub. But
Nice.
one more thing. Did you watch Dogma?
Oh
Just
God,
looking at
forever.
the
That was when, like,
calendar.
Alanis Morissette was a god or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah, it was okay.
jeez,
Spoiler. First of all.
such an old movie.
No, but it's such a good movie. That is one of my, I would say, favorite movies. I just keep forgetting that it kind of exists, to be honest. But every single time I see it on, I'm like, oh, I'm watching this. Like, it is that good of a movie, in my opinion. I thought it was hilarious.
Wasn't that like one of the first appearances of Jay and Silent Bob too?
Yes, yeah, that as well. I think they did something previous that there was like a little bit, whatever they're popular for, but that was like their first movie. Well, I'm not even sure about that. That might have been their very first role as the two. But I love that, and when Alanis Morissette was God, but she like started doing like cartwheels really badly. I also kind of, because I watched it, you're right, it's like an old movie. It's more than 10 years old, I think. I watched it when I was so young. I had no idea about basically like theology, mythology, or whatever you want to, whatever the word is for it. Basically, the mythology of Christian religions. I had no idea that was kind of like a study. You know what I mean? And you could think more outside the box than what the Bible said. That was like my first, I guess, revelation in that. Of course, my brothers were older and they thought I was dumb, but I really liked that movie, and Alan Rickman is in it. That's what I remember.
Don't remember him in it. I'd have to go back and rewatch that. uThermal, by the way, getting some pretty nice, I guess, Reaper control in. I really expected the Adept to pick it off early, but while he does pick off a probe or two, the Adept gets over here to pick off an SCV or maybe two.
It could have gotten two for sure.
Oh. And poor Bondsy in chat has been there, done that, dude. Says, I get the same like sad response when I show people Monty Python. Let me tell you, here I am casting with Zombie Grub for a year, right? Good friend of mine who's been working at Starcraft, hilarious person to talk to all day. I learned in the middle of a cast she doesn't like Monty Python, and I'm just like debating ending the friendship right there.
Don't like Monty Python, don't like bacon.
Well, the bacon
Don't
thing
like
I can
Blazing
understand.
Saddles.
You Americans have had this weird concept that Canadian bacon is ham, and so I just don't trust your bacon tastes to begin with.
You know what my least favorite thing about America is right now, as we see this Dark Shrine build come into effect?
Elections.
Okay, yes, but also that now okay, so everyone's getting on top of the Korean train, which you think would sound great. You're like, why are you complaining about that? It's it's like Chinese American. American Chinese rather, whatever. Like the food is not real. So they'll be like gochujang sauce. And I'm like, well, that sounds delicious. And it won't be. It'll be like chili like peppers, like Mexican chili pepper sauce. And I'm like, that's not what it is. I swear to God. Or like pork belly, which in my mind is related to Korean, because like pork belly is my favorite thing to get at Korean barbecues. It's not smoked. It's thick slabs of pork belly. But Americans are misconstruing it and making it smoked anyways, and it makes me so angry. I hate smoked things. Okay, I'm done. Two medevacs gonna fly over. They might see the Dark Shrine, but I don't know, they have to get pretty darn in there to see it. It's like in the back.
I'm really glad you got that out of your system, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is very similar to last game in many respects, where uThermal gets across the map with all of his army, and the question is, like, did he take too much away from home? But looks like that one Widow Mine clears up the initial DT. Socke did warp in one back hit home to defend, but the mega depowering on that Artosis pylon's gonna be game.
GG.
Wow, GG.
By the way, uThermal had barely seen the Dark Shrine finishing in the back. He could have like missing that as a pylon, but he was prepared. GG.
All right, well, congratulations to uThermal. He gets out of group in first place and will be the first player into the round of 8 for the Dutch StarCraft League out of this group. This means now we go to Socke. Excuse me, nope. It's going to be Marsman versus Revolution in a PvZ. And this match might be one of the closer matched up matches of the group. It's a little bit hard to say because I don't actually... we have only just barely seen Marsman, but it'll be interesting to see nonetheless. We are going to go to a commercial break though, guys, so stick around and we'll see you soon.